back to the channel. Today, guys, I am once again bringing back the series about Disney secrets and Disney myths and urban legends because I love Disney. If you guys didn't know, I'm kind of obsessed with Disney. Literally built the Haunted Mansion in my house, and I've been going to Disney ever since I was a small child and was born in the city of Disney. I live for Disney. I breathe it. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about more scary stories and urban legends that Disney has, and some of them I don't know how true they really are. If you guys are excited and love urban legends and Disney, smash a like on today's video. Seriously guys, smash a like right now. A lot of you guys have not been liking the recent videos and it makes me sad. And also leave a comment and comment down below your favorite Disney character. I want to see which one is the most popular. Mine is personally Bambi or Stitch. I love both of them. And if you guys haven't hit that subscribe button, do it right now because it would mean a lot, guys. I would love to get to 4 million subscribers. But we're gonna get talking about Disney and some of the scary urban legends. Starting off at one of the most popular urban legends that kind of circles the internet is Walt Disney's ghost haunting Disneyland itself. So as we all know, Walt Disney himself, the creator of Disney, some people believe that his ghost and his spirit never left the Disney park. And also some people do believe that his head is frozen somewhere underneath the park, but I don't know how much I believe that one. But one of the most popular tales is that the ghost of Walt Disney himself has been spotted inside of the parks. Manifestations of the big boss vary from story to story online, on the internet, from flickering lights in town square fire station, designed for Walt Disney where he could work and rest, to a full figure walking aimlessly through the street at night. Also, cast members have also reported that they've smelt the smell of what smells like cigarette smoke lingering in certain parts of the park, which, by the way, that is not allowed in Disneyland, so it's kind of weird. Disney himself was allegedly a heavy smoker, and this was also smelt on the second floor of his apartment where he used to live. He has also been seen in the castle on Main Street, USA, and even in the window of the Haunted Mansion, allegedly. I don't know how true any of that is, but there's a lot of people on Reddit and on the internet that have claimed they think they've seen the apparition of Mr. Walt himself, and that they think his spirit has never left the Disney park. Coming in at another really scary fact, we're going to be talking about Small World. If you guys haven't been on Small World, I don't know what to tell you. It's kind of a revolutionary experience, and it's a very annoying song.
It's a small world after all.
You're going to be listening to that for the rest of the night once you get off that ride, because it literally doesn't get out of your head. It's so annoying. So this urban legend says that the dolls on Small World never really stop moving. So rumor has it that the animatronics on Small World are programmed to never ever stop. So that means that they are 24/7, all hours of the day, constantly in motion. They don't turn off the ride, they never stop, they just keep going. When the music and the lights turn off, the dolls continue to dance, which I find freaking terrifying. I don't know, the idea of just like Small World at night closed down with no lights, no music, and the dolls just doing their thing. I just don't like to think about that. That's just kind of unsettling. Also, when Disney shut down in 2020 due to COVID, the dolls kept on dancing. Yeah, even during COVID when they had no visitors for 2 years, those dolls did not stop. They kept on going. Imagine that, 2 years of just dancing dolls that never stop. That's terrifying. Coming up next is another urban legend about a Disney haunting, and the ride that it has to do with is Space Mountain. You guys might know about this because I swear I've seen this on TikTok a lot where people claim they've had apparition experiences on this ride, seen a little boy, had a whole ghost experience. So here's the lore behind that. Decades ago, a man known as Mr. One Way managed to sneak into the ride's maintenance area of Space Mountain, determined to experience the attraction alone. But unfortunately, he never came out. Since then, guests have claimed to catch glimpses of a shadowy figure darting through the ride's twisting passageways, only to vanish without a trace. Some spectate that Mr. One-Way's spirit still roams Space Mountain till this day, forever searching for the ride that he never got to enjoy. Those who have seen Mr. One-Way say that he has a reddish face and hair. If you are riding Space Mountain alone, you might be accompanied by Mr. One-Way, as guests have reported him sitting next to them when they boarded but disappearing before the ride ended, hence the name. Mr. One Way. Honestly, it's so creepy. I think your best chance of seeing this ghost, as what I've seen on TikTok, is riding this ride, I guess, as late as you can during Disney's opening hours, and riding alone as a single rider where you have an empty seat next to you. And maybe, if you're lucky, you won't be riding alone, according to Mr. One Way, who decides to pop up next to people while they're riding this roller coaster, which is scary. Imagine just sitting in the dark on this dark ride. By the way, this ride is dark. It's like literally just space galaxy themed. You can't see much of anything. You just turn to your left and there's just an apparition there, and you can't get off. Once you're on the ride, you're stuck. So yeah, think about that. Okay, so the next one is a rumor and legend and thing I've talked about quite a bit in my last Disney videos because it literally just it icks me out, but I have to bring it up again because there's people out there who don't know about this, and this one really freaks me out. So people often try to spread their loved ones' ashes in the Disney parks, and for the love of God, I don't know why anyone would do this. That is so gross to me. Like, let's just keep Grandma Nana in a jar somewhere else, not in Disney, not in the Pirates of the Caribbean's water, preferably, because that will be splashing on the next guest who goes down the ride, and we don't want Grandma Nana ashes on us. But yeah, basically, people have been caught on video camera, surveillance camera, and certain rides dumping their loved ones' ashes in Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, etc. It's honestly a pretty common thing that it's gotten so out of hand that Disney now has warnings that if you are caught doing this, you will get banned from the park, because people often try to do this still to this day, and they're still doing it now. But is it really worth dumping your loved one's ashes in a Disney park ride to get a permanent ban? No, it's not. There was even one woman who got caught doing this in the act, and when she was confronted by a Disney cast member, she tried to deny the substance was ashes by claiming it was just baby powder, which, they know better. Why would you just be pouring your baby powder out into a random Disney ride? Like, what's the point of that, you know? But we all know what really does happen. People be sneaking in their loved ones' ashes into Disney for who knows what reason. Okay, so the next one might not come as too much of a surprise for some of us who know better, but there's a lot of alligators in Disney World. I mean, if you think about Florida, you're gonna think about gators, right? Well, I guess some of us don't realize that even the Disney parks are capable of having big old alligators. It's Orlando, what do you expect? So Walt Disney is known to have a severe alligator infestation, and the numbers of alligators caught within the premises of the resort actually increase every single year, mainly because it is located at the center of waterways and canals commonly inhabited by alligators. Sometimes on certain Disney resort properties, there will even be signs warning that there are alligators, present, and to watch your children. And I'm pretty sure there's been a few Disney alligator accidents on Disney properties with children, which is really sad. I'm pretty sure I've seen that, like a little boy got bit by a Disney alligator. I don't know, swimming in areas you're not supposed to swim to and be around in, which is scary. I mean, it's nature, it's gonna happen. But yeah, there's a lot of alligators in Disney, and not only is there alligators, but another is there are secret Disney cats in the park. And you might be wondering when you're walking around the park and you see a cat, like, did somebody lose their cat? No, Disney actually releases cats into the parks to help with the mice control. So those cats actually live on Disney property, and they help with pests and mice and rats, and they're just released by the park. So if you're lucky enough to see a cat, just know that there's not too many, but there are a few, and it's a pretty rare sight to see on Disney property. So the next one is really interesting. I found this one on Reddit, and I don't know how to feel about this. I've never heard this one till today, but it says that there's a curse on the Little Mermaid ride, and it is said that the curse befalls to those who take any souvenir from the Little Mermaid ride at Disney parks. Visitors who have taken objects have reported experiencing misfortune and horribly bad luck when they've stolen objects or things from the Little Mermaid ride. My question is, what are they stealing? Like, that's all the context I see on this, but what are they able to take from the ride? Are they stealing things they're not supposed to steal? Because that's a permanent ban from the Disney parks. Or is it as little as I grabbed this rock off the floor in the wait line of Little Mermaid? I don't understand what they're taking, but really weird. If you guys know anything about that one, comment down below, because I've personally never been scared of the Little Mermaid ride. It's adorable, and I don't feel any weird energy in there. So another weird fact about Disney was that the original opening day of Disneyland was a huge disaster. So when you think of Disneyland, you probably imagine a place of magic that's always precisely clean and where it seems like nothing bad could ever happen because it's the happiest place on earth. But when the park opened on July 17th of 1955, it was pretty much a huge disaster. The situation was so bad that the day was forever known as Black Sunday. For example, counterfeit tickets were used, so there were so many more visitors than the park was even anticipating on having, and the lineups to get in were massive, causing traffic jams and allegedly forcing some kids to have to pee in the parking lot. Ew, that is disgusting. That gives me the ick. There was also tons of ride breakdowns and shortages of food and no drinking water fountains, and it was really hot out that day, so some people were fainting and they had nothing they were gonna do about it because there was crowds of people. So opening a day of Disney was not all magic like we would have thought it to be, but more so a really big disaster. So the next one is a really sad one that I didn't know about till today when I was doing some dark Disney research. But this was actually, I think, recorded as the first employee death to happen in Disney. The story was sad. It was about a girl named Debbie Stone, and she was actually crushed to death between the walls of Disneyland's America Sings ride in 1974. So Debbie Stone was a hostess on the ride and stood on the rotating stage during the 24-minute America Sings experience. When the show ended, a rotating wall closed in on the stationary wall where she stood, and she was crushed to death. And this is known today as one of the worst tragedies in a Disney park ever. I cannot imagine how horrific that was for her, but oh my gosh, that's awful. And last but not least, one of the most viral Disney urban legend clips that circulates the entire internet. I'm sure y'all have seen this if you've been mysterious as a kid and looked up Disney viral ghost. Remember, as a kid I would always look this up and it would freak me out. But there was allegedly a Disneyland ghost caught on camera, and it was uploaded on this YouTube video right here. The video is a bit shaky, but a security camera apparently caught a ghost strolling through Disneyland. Many have dismissed it as a monitor burn or possibly a reflection, but others truly believe it's a real ghost or a real apparition. But it's just really weird. I mean, it does look like an apparition. What do you guys think? Was that a Disney ghost caught on camera? It scared me as a kid, and it still kind of creeps me out today. The opening day of Disneyland was a complete disaster, and here is why. So Disneyland opened July 17th of 1955, and the day that Disneyland actually opened was known as the Black Sunday because of how dangerous and disastrous the opening of the Disneyland park was. Some areas of the Disney park were unfinished, and construction workers were struggling to actually finish the projects they had to finish to open up Disneyland park that day. Disneyland's opening day was disastrous by many different accounts. The park was not quite ready at all for visitors because of all the construction. It ran out of food and drinks. There was counterfeit tickets that led to unexpectedly large crowds, and shoes even got stuck in freshly laid asphalt in 100-degree California heat. And worse than that, Walt had to make the decision that the construction workers were wanting them, like, hey Walt, should we finish the Disneyland bathrooms today before opening, or should we finish the water fountains? And Walt told them, finish the bathrooms, because obviously, you know, you'd think that's probably important, right? Yeah, we need to finish the bathrooms so that people can use the bathroom. It's a theme park. You have to have bathrooms and all that good stuff, but they didn't have time to finish the water fountains. It was 100 degrees that day, and a lot of people needed water because the snack stands ran out of it, and there was no water fountains for anybody to go to, and it was 100 degrees. People ended up fainting and hitting that 100-degree asphalt floor and getting pulled out by emergency crews because it was so hot. The first day was actually supposed to be invitation only, but things immediately went off the rails for Disneyland. There was a lot of scammers around the outside of the gate selling fake tickets, and people that were pulling ladders out to climb over into the park. And there was over 28,000 people that made it into the park that day, doubling the limits of park capacity at the time, which is insane to me that it went that crazy for their opening day. And it was even being streamed on television to make things worse. And so people were seeing it from like a light where they're like, Disneyland's the best place ever.
That's Mickey Mouse. Diane, you're 6. Where would you like to go of all the places in Disneyland?
To the great big castle where Sleeping Beauty is.
Oh, you want to go to the castle. Lois, you take them all to wherever they want to go.
But they didn't see all the chaos that was going on behind the scenes at the actual park. Rides were breaking down, people were fainting and pushing through crowds and sneaking into the park. It was just one big darn disaster. And so that's how the opening day of Disney went, okay? It was not a good time. Even though it'd be crazy to see it, not a good time to actually live in. Another crazy dark Disney secret was one of Disney's abandoned water parks. Did you guys know that they had an abandoned water park? Well, I didn't. So this water park was just outside of Magic Kingdom near Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground. This land actually used to be home to the first Walt Disney World water park, River County. Not many Disney fans have actually heard about this, but it opened back in 1976 as one of the first fully themed water parks in the world. It was themed as a Tom Sawyer swimming hole, and it was unique in that the attractions used filtered fresh water from Bay Lake. There's actually some photos online of how it looks abandoned now or abandoned at the time. I don't know, either one. Disney ended up closing this water park in 2001 and let it sit untouched for years. There was a lot of speculation and rumors and conspiracies as to why Disney ended up closing this water park, and some of them were pretty wild and crazy. Some actually believe that it was due to some sort of brain-eating amoeba that infected the park's water, and Disney freaked out because people were getting sick with this parasite or amoeba eating their brains out. I don't know how true that is, but that's a conspiracy. And that rumor actually most likely began because of the death of an 11-year-old boy who died in 1980 from a case of amoebic meningitis, I can't say that word, while he visited the water park. So while he was there, he died of that amoeba coincidentally. Kind of scary. Other theories claim that the park ended up closing down due to 2 guests who died in the park in the 80s drowning in this water park, which is very unfortunate and sad. However, the more likely reason is that Disney chose to close the water park because Blizzard Beach Water Park and Typhoon Lagoon Water Park had built and grown in their popularity, and people didn't want to go to this other one as much as they wanted the other water parks because they were bigger and better and newer. But the land had been sitting abandoned with the water turning green and brush growing over the area until recently when Disney began working on a new planned hotel called Reflections, a Disney Lakeside Lodge. So that's the story of Disney's abandoned water park and possible deaths and amoebas that took over someone's brain, so that's fun. So now we're gonna actually get onto some darker subjects that are pretty sad and scary, and this one is about possible kidnappings or kids going missing at the Disney parks. There was a rumored kidnapping ring that scared guests in 1987. A 16-year-old boy was sent out to Disney parking lot to bring the car around to the front to pick up the rest of his family. He was followed by a pair of men who kidnapped him at gunpoint at the Disney park with his own car and drove off all the way to Santa Ana, where they drove off and dropped him off unharmed. The 2 men were arrested the next day in Los Angeles, but the abduction fueled rumors that had been going around for a few years back to the market of kidnapping at Disneyland. I didn't even know that there was rumors about this, but there's a lot of different rumors about kids that have apparently gone missing at Disneyland, and to this day I don't know what happened, but hopefully they've been found. That is scary that that could even happen at a, amusement park. Anyways, according to more of these rumors, there has at least been 200 children, yes, 200 missing children that were kidnapped at the park each year and trafficked out of Disney, which is horrifying to think about. So be careful with your families. Doesn't matter where you are, even at the happiest place on earth. One story that was commonly circulated was a story of a 2-year-old boy that was pulled from his stroller while his mother was being distracted at the Disney park. His mom begins frantically searching all over the park and eventually sees another woman carrying a bundled up blanket with her son's shoes sticking out of it, which is so scary. Imagine being a mom and seeing that your kid's gone, then looking over seeing another lady holding your child. I would freak out. The mom snatches the bundle out of the woman's hands and is horrified to see her son in disguise with short red hair. To this day, Anaheim police continue to receive dozens of calls each year asking about the non-existent kidnappings occurring in Disneyland. How true is that? Like I said, I don't know, just some conspiracies. That's crazy. I hope that that's not, a real thing, but that is scary that people online think that there has been that many kidnappings or missing children that have gone missing at the Disney park. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about a guest who might have lost their leg on the Space Mountain ride. Yes, they lost a leg. So Space Mountain is obviously a roller coaster in the Disney parks. It's space themed, it's pretty fast, it's actually really fun. It's one of my favorite rides. So one of the people that was riding Space Mountain had an artificial leg. Yes, you already know where this is gonna go. This person wanted to ride Space Mountain no matter what, didn't care about their artificial leg, didn't think much about it, so they wanted to get on the ride, so they did. So they knew that this ride takes off pretty fast, so when you get on and off the ride, it shoots off really quick. You have to get out of it at a certain time. And he was unassisted for some reason, so when he was getting on and off of the ride, apparently when it was trying to move for the next cart of people, his leg got stuck in the track, and when the cart moved, his artificial leg was ripped off of him. I don't know if that's a rumor, but if so, that is awful. Apparently, luckily, the artificial leg was not fully attached to him. It was just one that popped in and out. So when the cart moved up to the next line of people, they all saw that the man had lost a leg and they were freaking out, and the guy was like, it's okay, it pops back on. So So luckily the guy was not hurt at all. He just had a missing artificial leg that he had to pop back on. So that would have been really bad, but all the crowd that saw that was traumatized at first, but luckily the guy's okay. Walt Disney actually did live in his own theme park for quite a while. He had his own apartment located in the Disney park where he lived his life all the way up until he died. Sadly, Walt Disney passed away and his apartment still remains there today. I couldn't imagine what it would be like to actually live inside of the Disney park, so Walt literally really did live the dream. He literally got to wake up every single day inside of a Disneyland park in his own little secret apartment, which I think is so cool. I'm going to put some photos up here on the screen of what his apartment or room space look like inside, but I know that today there are still rumors that Walt still lives inside of his apartment and his spirit has not left. According to the legend, one night an employee came into dust and turned the lights off when she left. The light repeatedly turned on and off inside of Walt's apartment as she attempted to leave. Other employees that have cleaned Walt's apartment have also claimed to have heard footsteps and felt cold spots in his room. And other employees from the outside who cleaned outside of his apartment have claimed they've seen him through the window at night or even seen him waving when no one was there inside the apartment. So there is rumors that his ghost still lurks the ground. Also, some versions of the story from the employees claim that they heard a voice say, "Don't forget, I am still here." So that's pretty crazy if Walt still haunts his own apartment or there's a ghost there pretending to be Walt. Either way, pretty creepy stuff and pretty crazy. However, there's a lot more ghost stories that evolve around the park. I found a lot of them online that I had no idea about. And the next one revolves around one of my favorite rides, and this ride is Space Mountain. Space Mountain is one of the best Disney rides ever, but I never knew that there was a legend of it being haunted. So if you guys didn't know, Space Mountain is a roller coaster. It goes up to some pretty decent speeds through a dark space-themed mountain, and they have some pretty exciting music as it plays and goes around. It's pretty much just a pitch black roller coaster with a few stars and exciting music. However, there is a ghost that some riders of Space Mountain have claimed to have seen that they say they've seen sit right beside them on Space Mountain. This ghost is said to sometimes sit next to the rider in the seat next to them. And what's weirder than that, all the riders kind of describe the ghost to look exactly the same. And some of the people that rode this ride didn't even know about the legend of the ghost haunting it. They all describe him as a guy with reddish hair that they see appear next to him on the Space Mountain ride when they ride all alone. He's actually supposedly supposed to be the ghost of a deceased guest who died on the ride back in the 70s. And he also, legend has it, politely disappears before the end of the ride. The next story is about a lady in white that many guests have seen walking amongst Disney's Main Street. So, as you guys know, Disneyland was not always Disneyland. They actually had to buy out that property many years ago, and I believe before it was fully bought out, a lot of it was farmland. It had a lot of history that dates way, way back. So there's a legend that a lady actually died on her farmland before Disney bought out the property, built their park, and the lady was always wearing a white gown, and guests still say they see her walking amongst Main Street today as well. There is security footage of a ghost that was caught in the Disneyland park outside of the Haunted Mansion, and I remember seeing this footage as a kid and being super creeped out. This is actually real security footage. I'll put it here on the screen. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think this potentially a real Disney ghost? Did they actually catch a ghost on camera? Let me know what you guys think. I don't know. It's very possible. It's kind of creepy and almost unexplainable. Many have dismissed it as a monitor burn or reflection, but many others believe it's a real ghost. Possibly Javier Cruz. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's a pretty sad story, but there was once a cast member who played as Pluto, and he was unfortunately brutally killed in 2004. This sadly took place during one of the Disneyland parades where he was playing as Pluto up top of float, dancing around, having a good time, until he accidentally tripped off the top of the float, crashed to the ground, and the float ran him over, and they could not stop the float in time, and he sadly passed away. It was really, really brutal for all the families, and of course Javier himself to die in such a sad way in front of whole crowds of people at the happiest place on earth. But there are legends and rumors that his spirit still walks around the park, and some people claim that that was him on the security footage. Even weirder than all of that, there was rumors of a Disneyland park that Disneyland wanted to hide from their guests for a very long time, and this story is quite creepy. It is based off a creepypasta, just want to put that out there, but either way, super scary. So this hidden Disney park was actually called the Duck Pond, and it's pretty coincidental that the idea of this park was that it was hidden underground of an actual Disney pond in the park, because they're supposed to be so unique and magical and feel really real to the children who go down a secret entrance beneath the water to get to this secret hidden Disney park. However, there was a catch. Of course, it was called the Duck Pond. So who do you think of when you think of Disney and ducks? Well, obviously Donald Duck and Daisy Duck. So this whole park was pretty much themed around Donald and Daisy Duck because it was duck themed. So with that being said, they had Donald and Daisy Duck characters all throughout this entire park. All of the rides, the snacks, the merchandise. Everything about this hidden Disney park was Donald and Daisy Duck themed because they hadn't really given much of a spotlight to those characters before. However, there's a really dark twist to this story. They eventually had to shut this hidden Disney park down, according to the legend, just because they said some kids had gone missing in this park and they couldn't quite figure it out. But some had claimed that one of the Donald Duck employees was taking children and hiding them, and people never found their kids again. And the worst part about it was that because it was all duck themed, there was multiple cast members playing different Donald Ducks throughout the main park, the hidden duck park, and throughout the rest of the parks at Disney, so they didn't know which employee might have been stealing the children. This got so out of hand that Disney decided to shut down this hidden duck park and never open it again. Wow, what a creepypasta urban legend, guys. That is crazy. It's kind of creepy though. It kind of gives me FNAF vibes of some sort. And honestly, you never know who's behind a mascot costume, guys. You just never know. Another really creepy legend is about the ride called Small World. It's a small world. I'm sure you all know about it. It was always one of my favorite and least favorite rides at the same time, just because it's quite annoying. If you guys have been on it, you know what I mean. But you also like to cool off in there, and it's a long ride, and usually there's no wait, so why not go on a classic, right? Well, there's a lot of legends about this ride going wrong, and I mean so wrong, in the middle of the night when employees clean it up and shut it down. So as you guys know, Small World is filled with dolls, like dolls everywhere. So many employees that have worked the night shift on this ride, where they clean it up and, you know, fix it up for the next day and shut it down, say that they have seen dolls move positions all by themselves when shut down, and that some of the dolls turn their head, blink, or even talk when they're completely powered off. I could not imagine having to be the last person to shut down animatronics at night, especially in rides or even at like Chuck E. Cheese. Like, that would make me so paranoid, having to like turn the lights off, stare at all the dolls in the dark, and shut the ride completely down. Oh my gosh, I would run out of there. I would be so scared. Just because imagine like sleeping there overnight with like all the dolls staring at you. No thank you, I'm good. Just because dolls can be kind of creepy. I've never been a big fan of them personally, but you do you, boo boo. And last but not least, there's a strange theory / conspiracy going around online about Disney's Club 33. So if you guys didn't know what Club 33 is, it's basically a hidden club that Disney has had for a very long time, and it's almost nearly impossible to get an invite or onto the list to get inside. I have always wanted to go in there, but it's gonna be a trip ever getting invited into Club 33, because they have like a set list of members that can go, and getting accepted on that list is nearly impossible. There is, however, a lot of conspiracies that Club 33 is somehow linked to the Illuminati. Like I said, conspiracy. Don't know if this is real or not, but it would be kind of strange. Some people think that Club 33 might be run by the Illuminati in an attempt to establish a new world order. Some people also claim that they might have secret meetings inside of Club 33 where they only allow certain people to get access to it because it's so hard to get into and nobody really can get in there. It's very unheard of to actually get access to the secret room in the secret hidden Disney club, that they think there might be something sketchy about it. I'm pretty sure most of you guys know the movie Toy Story, right? Well, in the classic Toy Story movies, all the toys have a secret keyword that when they hear this, the toys all fall to the floor and pretend to be lifeless. They all scream, "Andy's coming, Andy's coming," and all the toys would drop to the floor and pretend that they are dead or that they weren't just walking around. Well, basically there was a rumor that the mascot characters in Disneyland and Disney World at one point did have to act like they did in the movie, and when any kid or guest at Disneyland or Disney World would scream, "Andy's coming, Andy's coming," the Toy Story mascot actors would actually have to fall to the ground and pretend to be dead or pretend to be lifeless for a few seconds to combat with their character from the movies. Guests actually have reported seeing their favorite Toy Story characters drop at their command at a number of the Disney parks. So apparently Disney actually spoke out about this rumor as well, and they said the characters used to drop to the ground when someone yelled, "Andy's coming." As of the last week or so, however, they no longer do this. This is because everybody found out about it at the same time when the meme went viral, and now people are shouting this about 50 times per hour and a half as opposed to hearing it once or twice a day like before. So yeah, basically people started to say this little phrase way too much after they found the meme about it online, and it started becoming a safety hazard because little kids would get up behind these characters, someone would scream, "Andy's coming!" and then the character would just plop and almost hit the child, and it started to get a little out of hand since, you know, Toy Story characters and the workers were constantly falling to entertain the guests as a silly meme. Anyways, pretty interesting conspiracy. Is it true? I don't know, but kind of funny. So the next Disney urban legend is actually about Disney's secret room. There are numerous reports of strange, unique hidden spaces at Disneyland. These rumors can sometimes be true according to the internet. There is a private club called 33 located in New Orleans Square. Membership to this club is expensive and coveted, with hopefuls waiting on a list for years at a time. When you're finally picked, there's an initiation fee of $25,000 and an annual fee of $11,000. That membership can be revoked. This year, a longtime Club 33 member filed a suit against Disney after they canceled his membership, allegedly for giving passes to a friend who auctioned them off for charity. That is pretty crazy. So I didn't even know that that existed until I heard about this urban legend online. So apparently there are little hidden rooms and spaces. Another legend is actually that there is a basketball court that was built inside the Matterhorn at the top of the mountain, sort of. Well, it's actually a very small court, not even half of a court, just large enough to barely do some free throws. However, nobody knows if this rumor is true or not because it doesn't really make sense. Why would they have to build a basketball court on the very tip top of the Matterhorn? Weird urban legend. Is it true? I don't know. I don't know if I believe that one. Also, there is rumor of another Disney suite or place where people can live. So there's apparently a secret suite at Disneyland. Disney actually intended for his family to live there, but he died before its completion. This gorgeous suite now sometimes is offered to a lucky family who wins a contest to spend a night in its finery. The suite is pretty luxurious, and like I said, it was built for Disney or Walt Disney, but he sadly passed away before they ever finished completing this Disneyland suite, so that's pretty sad. But I did hear rumors that he wanted to build his own little suite in Disneyland, so I'm guessing they do still have that there, even though it's a conspiracy. I'm pretty sure that one's real. So there is a rumor that the Haunted Mansion actually did scare somebody to death, and this one's pretty crazy because we all know from the last video that the Haunted Mansion really is haunted. The Haunted Mansion opened in 1969, but some say that the earlier version of the ride was so terrifying that a man invited to preview the attraction suffered a heart attack and actually died. Due to the unfortunate circumstance, Disney ordered the ride toned down to prevent anyone else from being scared to death. What? That's crazy. So I'm not sure actually what the original Haunted Mansion looked like. I'm going to look up some pictures and try to put them here on the screen to see if it did get revised over time. I'm pretty sure that it would stay pretty similar to the way that it is now. I know they do only change it to The Nightmare Before Christmas for a seasonal occasion, which I actually prefer over the original. The original's fun, but The Nightmare Before Christmas is so much cuter and so much more better in my opinion. But that's pretty interesting to hear that somebody got so scared of the original Haunted Mansion that they had to like tone it down, even though it's conspiracy. If that's true, that'd be kind of crazy. So the next conspiracy is abandoned Disney properties or areas in Disneyland that were occupied or in Disney World but now are abandoned. Many people believe there are a number of abandoned Disney properties holding spooky secrets. This is actually sort of true according to the internet. Discovery Island, originally called Treasure Island, was a Disney-owned island in Bay Lake from 1974 to 1999. Most people believe that the park shut down due to Florida laws regarding bacteria in the water, but other people have littered comment pages about the island with tons of different spooky theories. Basically that the government bought the island from Disney to use as a death camp, which is crazy. I don't know if I believe that one. While no one's sure what's going to become of the properties, Disney did at one point consider turning the park into an interactive game inspired by the video game Myst, but that project never got off ground. Disney also had a nearby water park called River Country, which too has randomly shut down. There was somebody who actually broke into an abandoned Disney island by actually swimming over to the island. That's crazy. He and his friends at the time took several photos of the ground revealing an eerie scene by baby vultures and preserved snakes they found in jars on this abandoned Disney island. Disney was not cool with their adventure and threatened to ban him and his friends from the park for their entire lives. Many people, however, believe that there are two abandoned resorts, a treasure island in the Bahamas and a park called Mo Gillies Palace in North Carolina. Mo Gillies Palace is actually from a creepypasta called Abandoned by Disney. If you guys don't know what creepypastas are, well, you know, they're just scary stories mostly made to entertain people. But some people think they're real. There are a lot of rumors of creepypastas actually being real. The Abandoned by Disney story revolves around an urban explorer who decides to investigate an abandoned Disney resort in his hometown in North Carolina. There he finds a snake and a bunch of abandoned buildings, some of which scrawled with the phrase Abandoned by Disney. He eventually locates Mascot's area where he pulls off the head of a Donald Duck and a human skull falls out. Then a Mickey costume in inverse color starts walking towards him. He then flees away, and to this day people still try to search for it and find it, since there's a lot of scary, spooky stories online about this Disney conspiracy. Another conspiracy about Disney is Disney cats and different animals in the park. I actually believe the Disney cats conspiracy because, well, I've seen Disney cats before. Basically, Disneyland actually is known to have a lot of rats and mice and creepy crawlies everywhere in the park, but they don't want us to know that. So they actually have a bunch of cats that they leave on the Disneyland property, and they let them run around wherever they want to hunt down the mice and keep the pests a little bit more controlled because there's a lot of creepy crawlies and we don't want those in the park. So there is a lot of different cats throughout the Disneyland resorts and the Disney World resorts that they just keep and feed and let them try to, you know, get the mice and the rats. I've seen one before in Disneyland California Adventure in the foresty areas, and it makes me wonder how many Disney cats there really are walking around the park, casually living life at Disneyland, which is kind of a life for a cat, honestly. If I was a cat or a dog, I would want to live at Disneyland. Another really scary thing I've heard about Disney is that they can control our mind through scents and sounds, which is crazy. I actually kind of believe this one, even though it's a conspiracy. Some conspiracy theories accuse Disneyland of controlling your mind through your nose. Well, it's sort of true because Disneyland does smell really great, especially certain rides. Pirates of the Caribbean, I love the smell of that ride. It makes me want to go back and have a candle of it in my room and just inhale it, okay? It smells good. So there are actually smellitizers all throughout the Disneyland park that actually release different smells throughout the park. The smells are meant to correlate with what you're experiencing. For example, you'll smell cookies on Main Street, candy and vanilla scents as you walk by certain stores in efforts to get the park to actually make you go buy some candy, some chocolate, some cookies because you smell those scents that they actually linger in front of the stores on purpose to get you to buy or eat certain things. Kind of like that conspiracy about grocery stores where they actually let you go by the bakery first because you can smell the breads and, you know, you smell them, you want to buy them, and then that's why they keep like the milk in the very back of the store because no one can smell milk or nobody wants to smell milk. It's kind of like a mind game to get you to smell something, it smells good, then you buy it. So there are a bunch of these little hidden like scent things all throughout Disneyland that do release scent of certain parts of the park to make you smell things and want to eat certain things in effort to gain money. Anyways guys, that's going to do it for today's part 2 of Disney conspiracies that you guys might not have known. If you guys know any other scary or interesting Disney conspiracies, let me know in the comments down below. It's been Lyssy. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Be sure to check out my Instagram at Lyssy Noel and all my other socials there are linked in the description below. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!